Good afternoon, happy stampers. My name is Judi Anderson from judistamps.com, and I'm an independent demonstrator from the United States. Welcome to all of my Facebook viewers and my YouTube viewers. I am so happy that you decided to join me today. And every week Diane and I get together and collaborate on bringing you projects to each other's Facebooks and customers. This gives you guys a little bit of variety and sometimes out of the box projects. So this week we had decided that we were going to be bringing you some masculine cards. So jump on in, say hello. Good morning, Marjorie. How are you? You know, Marjorie, I am super impressed. You are usually the first one to jump on, which means that you get your notifications right away, which is awesome. And I do understand that it does take sometimes a minute or two to get the notification because sometimes that's what it takes for me to get notified that Diane is on when she comes on. And so once again, if you're watching on Facebook, please give me the thumbs up, give us hearts. The biggest compliment you can give us is to share our videos to your friends and other stamping friends. Hello, Barbara, and hey, Debbie, how are you? So welcome everybody for coming on. So, I think that a majority of people have trouble with masculine cards. And I don't know why that is. I have 3 boys and 1 daughter. I had 3 brothers. So I am used to making things for guys. However, do I usually make things for guys? No. I don't know why. I do make them all cards, believe me. They get their fair share of cards, but sometimes we have troubles with masculine cards and how to put them together. And I know Diane makes a lot of masculine cards. I do too. I don't always show them here, but I'm hoping you guys enjoy today's card. I'm going to flip you all around and let's get going. So, in the end, I'm hoping that I remember. I've had some questions about the black and white fluffy thing that is usually right behind my head. It kind of looks actually like a hat in my videos, but it's actually a wreath that was given to me by an adopted team member, Debbie. And I just love it. But unfortunately, it doesn't always show up really good depending on what view or what angle my camera is at. So I am just adjusting some of my wires here. Okay, so I am going to be using the Grassy Grove Bundle, and this is a stamp set and die bundle found in our J to J catalog. It's on page 47, and this set in particular attracted me because of my boys and my husband. This is their kind of thing. And I am pairing it up with the New Horizons Designer Series paper found on page 43. And why am I pairing it up with that? Because I'm going to tell you, this paper makes it so easy for backgrounds, and they are gorgeous backgrounds without having to do all the work. Now, I am going to be making cards also that I am going to be doing some of my own backgrounds. But I thought for today we would use this, and I would show you how I go about choosing the area that I'm going to cut from that paper also. So we're going to be doing some die cutting, but this set, you guys, is a great masculine set. You wouldn't have to use the deer if you didn't want. Now, the stamp set does have some backgrounds and some trees and 4 great sentiments, although there are more for caring verses than birthday. So I am actually reaching to my special moments celebration set. This is a free set that you can get with a level 2. And I love this happy birthday font. So that is what we are going to be using. I am going to lower you guys down a little bit Yeah, Chris, you love the Horizons pack. So I think that is a little bit better for you guys. It's a little bit closer. Okay, I did something the other day, a video that I needed it farther away. But you can do all kinds of techniques. I love these because they are solid stamps. So we are going to be using a couple of them. In fact, I just received these. I haven't even put them together yet. But that's okay. We're still going to use them. Now the dies. Okay, you guys, these dies. We're going to be using this one, which has got the trees. And we're going to do those in the foreground. And you will find that there is an edgelet that will go along this image here. So if I take this off, just show you this here, this goes along that. So you could do one of two things. You could stamp this on an edge and then cut it out, or you could do multiple layers of this. I think that is going to be a fun one to play with. And then it also cuts out the trees, and you have some deer silhouettes in here also, and some leaves. This one will cut out the grasses. These has a die, this, and we're going to stamp this deer today too. So we're going to get started here. And my colors are kind of plain colors. I'm using the blues today. So my card base is Night of Navy, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4, just our standard card size. And this is going to be a horizontal card, so it's going to be opening up like this. Then I have a layer of Misty Moonlight, and this layer is 4 by 5 1/4. So that's going to go on top of that. And as you can see, it's very subtle, but you can tell the difference of those two colors when you put them together like that. Okay, my next layer is a piece of Night of Navy. And I have cut this 3.5 by 5 inches. And we are going to be cutting the die out of this. Okay, and so it's going to be cut out that size. But the New Horizons paper. Okay, so I could choose a multiple of these and it would go great. I could just choose to cut out part of the background. And what you want to do with these dies is you want to hold these up to the paper. So on this one, perhaps you would go way up here and cut it out. Okay, and this is just going to be a rectangle. We're not going to be cutting the dies. I'm just holding this on there to see what I want. Perhaps you just want a grassy area behind there. That could be that way. Flip it over. We could have this so it looks like it's a sunset and the sky is in the background. I, in particular, have chosen this one. Now, why have I chosen this one? Because it reminds me of, it looks like a cabin here. It could also look like mountains and mountains in the background here and a lake. And this could look like trees and the shadows of the trees coming in here. But this kind of reminds me of looking over a lake through the trees and seeing a cabin on the other side. So I know that I'm going to imagine how I'm going to put this down there. Now I want to cut this at 3 3/4 by 5 inches. Okay, so we're going to do that. So I've got this placed. I could go down here, but then you lose that cabin feel, and I really want that cabin feel. And I'm going to be putting my deer on this side. And so if I take my die, and this is just to prepare yourself for cutting it out, because I don't like cutting my paper and then finding, oh my gosh, I covered this up. I got to cut another piece of paper. So take the time in the beginning to figure it out. So I kind of want it like this. I do want some of that sky showing through. And then my deer is going to be placed over here so I can see that cabin. So I know it's going to be right about here. Okay, so I know this is 6 inches. So if I cut it to 5 inches, it's going to be cut way over here, and I don't want that. So I'm going to line this up so it's just barely past my cutout. So it looks like I'm going to be cutting a 1/2 inch off of this side. I'm going to move my die. I'm going to cut a 1/2 inch off of this side. And don't worry, I'm going to use these pieces that I cut off. And like I said, I want it 5 inches. So I know that I'm going to cut another 1/2 inch. I'm just going to double check by putting this on, and I'm going to have plenty of room. So I'm cutting another 1/2 inch off of that side. Now this is where it gets a little bit tricky, because now you've got your width, and you can see how you're going to have a little bit of paper on the outside. So we want to remember up and down, how far back do we want this cabin to be? And it looks like it's about 3/4 of an inch. So I said I want 5 by 3 3/4. I'm going to cut it at a 1/2 inch to begin with. Okay, I can cut a little bit more off if I need to. So 3 3/4. I want to cut it. I'm going to have plenty of room here. So I'm just going to leave it like that. And believe me, I use all these scraps up. So we know that that's going to be the center. So let's get this all off of here. And we're going to do some cutting now. But as you can see, depending, I could put it in here. And, you know, this is one of my favorites in here. And just look at the different scenes that you can get out of here. You know, you could put it all the way down here and you get 2 out of it. You would get this scene up here and just mostly clouds. This one, you go up here and look, you could do this one up here and you get that behind it. And then if you did this one down below, you get a totally different look. Now, while I'm talking about this paper, this designer series paper, I don't know how many of you are a Paper Pumpkin fan and get Paper Pumpkin every month. But your March Paper Pumpkin coordinates with this designer series paper, you guys. So if you get one kit and you are one that likes to get the refills, I'm hearing that they've got a lot of orders for Paper Pumpkin for March. Now your ordering period ends March 10th, unless they sell out before then. So, and if you're not a Paper Pumpkin fan, but you're a fan of this designer series paper, I urge you to order Paper Pumpkin. Just contact Diane or myself, and we will let you know how to do that. Okay, before we start die cutting, I know that I'm going to use this piece to die cut. So I'm going to put that to the side. I'm going to get my stamp set now, and I'm going to get my deer out. And I want to get these trees, these evergreen trees. Okay. Now there's no green in our paper, so I can pretty much go with any green I want. But I think I'm going to go with the evening. Well, now I don't want evening evergreen because I think that that's just a little bit too dark. I want it a little bit lighter. So I'm going to go with the mossy meadow. And let me get my trees here. So yeah, I know several of you get the Paper Pumpkin, but I just wanted to give you the heads up on that. Okay, now I'm going to ink this up in the mossy meadow, and then I am going to get my soft suede Stampin' Up marker. Ink this up, and I am just going to go right along, and you'll notice I didn't even wipe it off. I'm just going along the trunk, and it's okay if it's green. It may be a little bit green, and it may be a little bit of the soft suede. Stamp that down, and look at that. So we've got that image. Now we're going to do our deer, and our deer I am going to do in soft suede. Forgot to take this label off. Now, I'm one that usually puts the indexes or the stickers on there. I know Diane doesn't. I do. I like to see, because especially with the words, I always stamp them upside down if I don't have that index on there. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and ink this up and just stamp it here on my basic white. And that is going to give me my deer. Now we are ready to go ahead and grab our mini machine. We're going to do some more stamping in just a little bit because we're going to stamp on the inside of this card today. So get my mini machine out. Okay, we're going to go ahead. All of these will fit onto the mini machine. So we are using number 1 and 2 number 2s. And remember, you want to sandwich them so that they are staggered. I'm going to put these on. And they will both fit. Let's grab the dies, the coordinating dies. I don't have my tray here. I think it's on the other side. Oh no, it's up on top here. I get my tray so I don't lose my dies. Okay, so let's get our trees on. And I always angle my dies, my paper just a little bit. Okay, we're going to line that up just like that. Grab my Post-it. Helps if I put it the right side down, right? Okay. So how many of you have husbands or sons that are nature lovers? I do. And that's why I always lean towards the wilderness stamps when it comes to my masculine stamps. And I can do some scrapbook pages with this. I think this is going to make some beautiful scrapbook pages. Okay, I'm going to put this on here and just wind this right through. Okay, let me see. Well, hello. Becky says only if nature is on the golf course. Oh my gosh. So you have a golfer. You know, my one son was an avid golfer. When he was in high school, he was on the high school golf team and loves to golf, but he has got really bad knees. In fact, he's only 44 and has had 2 knee replacements. Twice he had them replaced because the first surgery, his body was reacting to the metal plates they put in, so they had to go back in and remove them all because his bones were fracturing because of it, and he has arthritis real bad. So I feel bad for him because he is our golfer and he loves golfing, and he can't do it too much anymore because his knees bother him. Oh, but my one grandmother was an avid golfer. My uncle, I am one that is not much of a golfer. I have golfed 3 times in my life. I love miniature golfing, but my husband doesn't really care for golfing. He kind of laughs. He goes, I don't understand why you would hit a ball just to go chase after it. And he goes, and you don't do it once or twice. You do it 9 or 18 times. So we always laugh about that. Okay, so you're going to see that this cuts out and we have that frame around it. Now, I should have brought it back in the other way to make sure all these came out really easy, but I didn't. So this is forming a frame also. Now, you could make a bigger frame. I just knew about how big I wanted it. I may be cutting it down so that it fits on my layer. But just wait. Oh, I should have definitely come backwards with it. Okay, so we have that. And that is going to be our frame. Now, we could do some blending on the edges to give it depth, but we're just going to leave it. I think I am, because on this, I'm going to grab my green brush and I think I'm going to take a little bit lighter. I may take the Old Olive, or no, I don't want Old Olive. I want a blue. Let me switch this around. I'm going to take actually the Misty Moonlight, because it's like it's the sky around the side of the trees. And we're just going to dry brush around this and right over the top, just to take some of that whiteness off that paper. And it's going to form like it is the sky behind it. And you could do it a couple different colors if you wanted. I'm just doing this real quick for you guys. Okay, so we have that. So it's going to blend in a little bit to that background. Let me see. I might want to add a little bit of Night of Navy. That Misty Moonlight looks a little bit light there. Okay, and I am going to grab a piece of graph paper here so I can put this down so I don't get ink all over. And I'm just going to take, there we go. I think I like that better. And add, I'm not going over the entire thing, so we're going to have some of the lighter blue there also. But there, that kind of deepens it for the sky in the background. Okay, let's start putting this baby together. Okay, so I'm going to take, I'm just going to brush some of that on my deer too. Where's that paper at? So that'll help if your die, you know, all our dies have a little bit of a background. Now you don't want to go over the deer a whole lot because he does have white on him. So in some areas, you're going to want to, come on, pick him up and brush him like you're using the sponges. So you don't get it on his chest. Actually, it could be a her. He doesn't have a rack, right? Okay, so let's start putting this together. I'm going to put this over this. The background is a little bit taller, so we are going to shorten it just a little bit. But we can do that after we have it together, or maybe I'll just do it now on my trimmer so I make sure I get it straight. So need just about that much. Doesn't have to be exact. There we go. You know, if you've learned anything from me, I'm not an exact person. I am definitely a go with the flow. Okay, so we're going to put this on here, but we do want it raised off of this paper. So in these little spots, I'm grabbing some of my mini dimensionals because I don't want it to sink in there. And we're going to be putting some mini dimensionals on to our cardstock. So it is raised up on that designer series paper. I do not want it to collapse down on there. You know, I know I've got a couple friends right now, stamping friends, that are enjoying some winter weather. Some of them, a couple of them are out in Colorado skiing. And I don't know, I think they're getting hit with snow also. I know one or two of you are in the Wisconsin areas and are I know one of you definitely is supposed to get dumped on with snow. I've got another in Wisconsin that I think is going to get a little bit of snow. So, you know, this would be a good card for you to give someone in that area. Some happy mail, right? Right now. Some, let's get this. But how many of you send thinking of you cards to mails? You know, maybe it's your brother or a good friend or a cousin. I find that we have a tendency of giving that kind of mail to our female counterparts more than our male. But, you know, our male counterparts would enjoy this also. Okay, so let's stick this up there. Okay, and before we get too much farther, I'm taking my Wink of Stella and I am going to brush it onto my lake. Okay. I should have done this before I put it on, but it's okay. We've got a big enough area that we can put it on. We want its little sparkles in these areas too. And that's just kind of like the sparkle of the snow and the ice. When you look at it, you know, we don't want too much bling for guys. My boys don't want bling at all. Okay, so now we're going to take this and we are going to take our liquid glue. And you can see that our mat is actually wider, and that's okay. I'm actually going to put glue onto our designer paper, and then I'm going to stick a couple mini dimensionals along the sides to hold this down. Stick it, right inside there. We don't want to put it on the back of the designer series paper. We want to keep it onto the Misty Moonlight. Trying to take off that little tab first so I can just slide it underneath so it will hold the designer series paper plus hold the paper onto our card front. So this one, I'll lift that up just a little bit because I only need to tuck a little bit underneath there. Okay. Let's get this on the front. And isn't this, I mean, this is gorgeous all in itself. Now this is the same width as our background. Okay, but it's all night and navy, so it all blends in. I do need to snip off this one edge just a little bit, just a hair off in my size. So let's just trim that. Oh, and did you guys catch what I just did? I didn't put it onto, I need to trim it. I am definitely going to need to trim this, but I forgot my Misty Moonlight layer. Okay. We're going to go ahead and put it right like that. That's okay. I'm going to take my paper trimmer and trim off each end. So we're only having a reveal at the top and the bottom of this. Okay. And I do cards like that all the time. Just need to trim this down. But it's easier to trim this down after you have it put together to make sure that your sizes are exact. Okay, now let's get it onto our card. I'm going to put some glue on the back of my Misty Moonlight. Okay, it's not Monday, it's Tuesday. Oh dear. Make sure my card's going the right way because it would be just my luck today to put it on upside down. Okay, this is a gorgeous card, just like it is. But, you know, we need to add a little bit of something. I want to add these to the front here. I am going to use my brush just a little bit more. I don't want that white next to my trunks. I could snip those off also. It's, you know, it's totally up to you. But with me, it's a lot, especially today, it's a lot safer if I just go ahead and use my Stampin' brushes, my blending brushes to get a little bit of color on there. We're going to go ahead and put dimensionals right here. And we're going to move it down a little bit. So we're going off of that mat and into the second mat. Okay, we're going to put our deer on the other side. And I'm using the black dimensional still just because my base is dark. And even though I stamped on basic white, my deer is brown and my trees were green and brown. So if the black stuck out a little bit, you won't see it as much. We're going to go ahead and put him up a little bit like he's walking right there. Did you see how I kind of tucked his front legs behind, so like he's walking. We could do it the other way, so we could tuck him under like this. Let me get my, take your poke tool, just line those legs up right like that. So he's coming out from behind those trees. Okay, I want to stick him over even farther though, because I want to be able to see my cabin back there. Okay, so we could put our happy birthday in the front, and we'll see how that looks before I go and commit to it. So let me get my stamp set. So I have used this stamp set so much, you guys. I think this has been one of the most wonderful word sets that we could get for free with Celebration that we've had in a long time. Okay, I'm just going to stamp this in Night of Navy. And it was kind of droopy. Oh, that's okay. It worked out good. Okay. Thanks, Kate. I'm glad you like it. So, Christine says, rain here too. Oh, she sent a feel better card to somebody. Awesome. To his brother. That is awesome. Know your brother has been going through some rough times. But yeah, it's you know what? I would rather have the rain than the snow, although we're getting flooding, huh, Chris? I don't know. You know, I'm hoping I had to laugh because we've gotten quite a bit of rain over the last week, and we've gotten some snow too, but yesterday it was warm. Sunday it was warm, and a lot of the snow is melted. We had, just about a foot on the ground left, and it's almost all gone. And my husband was out cleaning up. He was doing poop duty, and he comes back in. He says, spring's almost here. He says, your flowers are starting to sprout. And I thought, here we go. Every year for a month and a half, it's almost every day he tells me spring is coming. It's like, okay, dear. Okay, so we could put this down here like that, or we can put it up here. I think I like it up at the top, and I am going to use my liquid glue, and I am just going to glue the bottom half just because it is going on a layer, and I don't want it to stick down to the back. So let's get this on here. And once again, you could emboss the words if you wanted. Okay, so we have that. Let's go to the inside of our card. So the inside of the card, I just want as its silhouettes. So since it's more of a wintry scene, I am going to use this big piece here. And I am just going to stamp it in the Night of Navy because, like I said, I want it to look like a silhouette or like a shadow effect across the bottom. We're just going to lay that right across the bottom using our Night of Navy. Chris, this would be an awesome set for cards for your brother. The verses in this set are wonderful. Okay, and I'm going to stamp it. I'm going to stamp it off to the side. I'm not going to go all the way completely across the bottom. So we've got that, but now I'm going to stamp it again, second generation towards the back like that. So we have almost a little scene there. I could do the deer too, but I think that that is enough for the inside of the card because, you know, it gives me enough room to put my verse on the inside as well as write. Although I think we write less inside guys' cards than we do our girlfriends' cards. and our female counterparts. Oh, I think that that is just gorgeous. You know what? I am going to take the Night of Navy and I am going to put a deer on the inside. I just think it needs a deer right here, and it's not all the way on. Oh no, look what I did. Oh, I will fix that. Ah, you know what? I should leave well enough alone, right? So here's the inside of the card and the outside of the card. I hope you guys enjoyed it. So this guy is walking out of the woods, and this is bringing the woods forward. And see how that looks like a cabin now? I just love that. Oh my gosh. So there we go. I'm back. So let me see, Marjorie. Yes, you love the two sets together. Yes. So, I mean, this stamp set, I'm going to tell you guys, I think it's one that you need, especially if you have trouble making masculine cards. You don't even have to put the deer on, but you can put the deer on by themselves, but just the nature scenes that you can come up with is great. So thanks, Chris. I'm glad you like it. Oh, thanks, Diane. I'm glad you like it. So don't forget, if you like this designer series paper, you're definitely going to get the paper pumpkin for March. So go in, contact Diane or myself now, get in and get that order before they sell out, because I think it's one that's going to sell out. If you've already getting one, I suggest that if you're one that gets the refill kits, go and order a second kit now, because I really don't think that there's going to be refill kits for this kit in March. So until next time, everybody, happy stamping.